Hello and welcome to the Microphotonics Imaging Laboratory here in Allentown, Pennsylvania. We're happy to have you with us today. Each month we're going to be going through some new tips and tricks videos to help you get the most out of your CTAn micro CT instrument. Let's go ahead and jump into this month's tip. Alright, this month's tip of the month will be focusing on the measurement tool within CTAn. Now, of course, you know CT Analyzer is the default analysis and quantitation software we have for all of our SkyScan data sets. Now, one of the less known features within the CTAn program is the ability to do measurements on different slices within your sample reconstructed data, and to be able to record these measurements into a comma-separated value file that you can export and use later to make lists. So let's take a look at how we can use this. To access the measurements menu, we're going to go to the image mode and then go to the measure option. You can also use a Control-Enter shortcut to open this menu. So that brings up this measure tool window, and so within here we have several different options. We've got angular measurements, linear, a path, an XYZ coordinate, and an enclosed area. And so we'll go through the rest of these buttons as we begin to work with. So let's look at an angle. So if we want to measure the angle of this corner here between this inner rib and the wall of the surface, we will go ahead and left click, drag our mouse down, and you'll see that it will automatically start populating the angle in a clockwise motion as we go. So if we really wanted to capture our best guess at this angle, we could pick an area like this and release, and we'll see that that angle was captured up here in our window, 53.13 degrees. Of course, if we want to save this, we can go ahead and click Add, and that will bring it down here to this text field below, and this will be a sequential list of every measurement we've taken. Now, one thing to keep in mind is that there is no context provided with these measurements later on when you go and export them. So if you're going to be taking multiple measurements throughout a sample, you want to go ahead and also keep some handwritten notes or a text file of notes going on what each measurement was capturing. They will stay in the order in which you capture them, however, which is helpful. Now, if we don't like the option to have to click Add to record the angle, we can also turn on the autofill function. And so with the autofill function enabled, we'll see that it is highlighted. So if we go down and we measure the same angle, we'll click at the origin and drag down here, and maybe I measure it again like this, and I can do that, and you'll see that it recorded it there. Now you also see I made a stray mark. That was an accidental click, and because autofill was on, it automatically gets added. And one thing you'll find quickly is that there is no way to go back and delete this. So if I don't want to have these measurements here, my only option is to click clear and to start all over. So that's one of the biggest downfalls of using the autofill tool. Any measurement you take, or even if you accidentally click, it will be recorded and added to your list, which could be quite frustrating. So I generally do not use the autofill tool. Now, the last thing I'll talk about for the angular tool is that when you click, the horizontal plane, this direction, will always be the linear plane, and then the vertical can be adjusted to measure your angle. That's another thing you cannot change with this tool. However, as I mentioned earlier, this is working in a clockwise fashion. If we were to hold down the control key, and move our cursor, now we are going in the counterclockwise direction. So that gives you another slight variation between, do you want to measure your angle clockwise or counterclockwise? All right, so that is the angular measurement tool. The linear measurement tool, if we want to measure the center of this hand to the center of this hand, we'll left click, we'll drag over, position where we want, and we'll see the distance right there. It's recorded. We can add that, so we have a line with that distance. Pretty straightforward for that. Finally, let's move on to the path tool. So the path tool is very similar to the line tool, except it's going to follow the exact path of my cursor rather than creating a simple point-to-point measurement. So if I do my best to trace along the length of this sleeve, we can see we captured that distance as a path. Now, of course, this will only be as accurate as you can draw, so take those measurements with a grain of salt. Coordinate. If I want to know the exact position on slice 567, where this center of this hand is, I can click here. One left click will automatically populate the X, Y, Z coordinates of that point within the entire data set. This can be useful sometimes if you're going to another outside analysis program and you want to locate a specific point in the data set or set something as the origin of the data set. You can find the XYZ coordinates in this way. Finally, we can measure areas. So if we want to measure the area of this piece within the hand, we can do our best, like the path tool, to draw a path around the shape, and that will generate the area within that path. Now, of course, you can do 3D volumetric analysis using custom processing and the morphology tools of CTAn to get better area kind of measurements than that. But if you want a quick area of a 2D slice from your sample, that's the way you can do it. Now that we have all of our measurements, we can go ahead and save these to an external file. So if we click on Save, we will see that it brings up our Save Measurings As. We can navigate to the folder where we want to save them. We can give it a file name, like this, and it's going to be saved as a CSV file. So we're going to go ahead and click Save. Now, if we were to navigate to that location, we will be able to create an Excel file based on the CSV, which has each of our measurements listed. Now, of course, as I mentioned, there are no context data provided with this. So it's just going to be an exact capture of each measurement and the type of measurement that was used to capture it. So that's why it's important to take notes. So hopefully you can see how you might be able to use the measurement tool with your work. Please let us know if you have any questions. Subscribe to our channel to get each month's installment on our tips and tricks videos, and we look forward to hearing from you soon. Have a great day.
Hello. Thank you for watching this installment of our video tip of the month. At Microphotonics, we strongly believe that the research you do changes the world, and we're happy to support you in your efforts through these videos, through our advanced training courses, and our annual workshops. Through these efforts, we strive to make sure that you are getting the most from your Bruker Micro CT machine. If you have any questions on this video or any other questions, feel free to give us a call or send us an email. Thank you again, and have a good day.